Hey everyone, this is Ryan Nelson, your data analyst at Charlotte Works. Today, I'm going to talk about problems with automated hiring systems and discuss how to improve the application process for job seekers, because the systems make it too easy to forget that applicants are humans. I'll first talk about problems with these systems, show a few examples, and talk about how they work. Then we'll go into ways to hack the system, potential roadblocks and solutions, and I'll finish with a few questions to think about. So what's the problem with these systems? First, the primary focus is on removing applicants, with roughly 98% of applicants being removed before interviews and 88% of these being qualified, high-skilled candidates. It's a lengthy and repetitive process. I'm sure we've all dealt with it. You create a profile on Monster, LinkedIn, Indeed, answer the same questions over and over again. It's very time-consuming and it's not user-friendly. Lastly, there's a lack of transparency. Many times we don't hear whether or not our applications were denied. Sometimes we don't even receive a confirmation email saying the application was received. And who's using these systems? 99% of Fortune 500 companies, 63% of all global employers, and 75% of employers in the US. As you can see, most employers are using an automated recruiting system. More than likely, everyone has applied for a job that uses one. Here are a few local job posting examples from Charlotte's top hiring companies. These are going to be some of the better looking and easy to read job postings. And since I am a data analyst, I use some examples related to data. But typically what you're going to see is a section for required and desired skills. These will give an idea of what criteria is used to screen applicants. With the posting on the left, you'll see things like bachelor's degree, specific professional qualifications like global banking and markets, and so on. On the right, you'll see things like SQL, Python, big data. These are going to be what the systems are looking for on resumes and applications. This posting from USAA looks similar to the last with the requirements and experience sections, but what I want to point out is the application questions section on the right. This is another common way to do the same thing. These will often ask questions related to the posting criteria and are used in the same way to narrow down the applicant field. This is an example of what the hiring systems look like to recruiters. The algorithm scans for keywords or answers to the questions that are related to the advertised job. If the application tracking software determines that your resume is a good match for the position, it gives you a high ranking. In this example, the rating is shown with stars, and you can see the different levels next to each applicant. A higher ranking obviously improves your chances of being seen by a recruiter and ultimately landing the interview. If you look around online, you'll find many articles about how to increase your chances of getting your application seen by a recruiter or hacking the system. Some of the recommendations are using standard section headings like experience, education, skills, keeping your resume basic or simple, avoid lots of unnecessary wording or descriptions, and to use keywords from the job description. And while some of these are resume and application best practices, since the program uses an algorithm, there are people that claim you can cheat the system. One of these ways is to just include the job description in your resume, a small white font, so that it's not visible to the human eye, but so that the hiring program will catch the words and score your resume higher. I created an example based off the Bank of America posting on the right. It first shows the recommendations, such as using standard section headings, keeping it basic, and using words from the job description. But at the very bottom, it also shows you how you can include the job posting in your resume. I have the font colored so it's visible, but when you were to submit it, it would actually be white so that it's not seen by the human eye. There are also programs that are used to help applicants tailor their resumes to specific job postings. This short clip shows Rhubarb, a program that was created by a Reddit user to do just that. What it's doing is highlighting the resume and comparing it to the job applications to see how the words align and recommending ways to make it better. And the point of showing these things is to highlight that because these automated systems are so hard to get through, applicants are having to get creative and sometimes even cheating the system just to get their resumes seen by a recruiter. When discussing how to improve these systems, there will be some roadblocks to overcome. One of the main ones is the amount of money in the industry. This is a large industry, with it being projected at $3.1 billion by 2025. There's money to be made, and automated hiring companies aren't just going to go away. Another roadblock is the number of applicants that job postings receive. Because of the amount of time it would take for a human to look at all of them, companies are going to want a quicker and more efficient way to hire. But luckily, there are some things that can be done to improve these systems while keeping these obstacles in mind. First, most postings have a wish list of skills and experience they want instead of focusing on the high priority skills that are necessary. Updating job descriptions so they focus on these skills will be a step in the right direction. Automated hiring systems typically use a negative logic. The goal is to narrow down the applicant pool. Using affirmative filters that focus on moving applicants forward based on their skill set rather than removing them for not having certain skills would allow for more applicants' resumes to make it in front of a human. And the current system rewards based on how much expenses are minimized. Changing metrics to reward based on the quality of new hires could encourage recruiters to spend more time looking over the applicant pool. And there are likely candidates that are eliminated by the hiring system that would greatly contribute to the company. Acknowledging that these eliminated candidates would have a big return on the time invested could encourage employers to put more focus on hiring. And as anyone that's applied for a job recently knows, the current application system is not applicant friendly. Creating a system that's easier to navigate and more transparent will improve the overall experience with applicants. And finally, probably the most important, is enlisting a senior leader to take charge of this. It's unlikely that any changes will be made without the support of someone with the power to make these changes, so getting them to recognize the benefits to improving the system is crucial. There's a lot to discuss with this topic, but some of the questions we must think about are, should we even be concerned with this? Is this something that we should even be putting energy into changing? And what can we do to help? Whether you're an employer, a policymaker, or a member of the workforce, is there something that you can do? I'd love to hear any feedback you have about these questions, this topic, or anything else you have to say. I'd also love to hear about anything else workforce related that you'd like to hear more about. Feel free to reach out to me, and thank you for listening.